Welcome back to the Quiet on Set podcast. Gotta be honest, it's been a minute.
It's so crazy to do this reunion after 10 years. Like Lachlan has kids now. I think you got one on the way. We've all gotten married. It's crazy how time flies.
And we've aged like 6 months, and at most, we haven't aged that much. But I've just bumped my microphone. I'm such a rookie. Jesus.
Oh man, it feels like so much longer.
You guys feel happy with that?
Sure, why not? We got to commit to it. It's a podcast. We don't we don't do retakes.
All right, let's roll the intro and get into it. We are professionals.
This is a professional podcast.
Yes.
Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Hello there. Which actually,
Did you
this
get
is gonna
me a
be
hat
a
as
bit,
well?
Yes.
So I've got Dooncam. It's just a camera with my Dune steelbook.
Welcome everyone. For those who don't remember us, because like you said, Kevin, it's been a minute. Years, what it feels like. Our last episode came out at the end of March. It's been 4 months to be correct, I guess, and it does feel like it was forever ago. I just kind of want to know what you guys been up to, so that's movie related, non-movie related. We'll get into this. This is a bit of a what did we miss episode of what did you miss in our lives, what we were up to, but also in the movie world. We all picked a bunch of topics that we're going to talk about. If you want to skip ahead to anything specific, there's going to be time codes below. There's also quite a few changes coming to this channel and this podcast specifically, but we are going to talk about that a bit more towards the end of the show. But I just want to have this kind of open question thrown into the room. How do you guys feel about a 4-month break and now being back? How do you feel about the show coming back?
I'm excited. I've missed the conversational aspect. We definitely tried to do stuff in the past 4 months, but I feel like the energy stopped. It slowed down very quickly, and I feel like we just missed having a conversation, and that was the saddest part, is that it went to solo reviews, and I think that we just kind of misstepped, and I think that we have a plan to go in the right direction, but I miss this because hanging out was always the best part about the podcast. It was never about the movies. It was about the friends you made along the way. But that's bullshit. It was about seeing movies early. If I'm totally honest, that's kind of why we kind of started this whole thing.
That is a nice bonus to all of this. Yeah, I can't lie.
I've been busy, but yeah, I'm excited. This is back. I'm very unprepared. These are the boxes in my room still.
Kevin, before you go, there's you can hear the static a bit on his mic as well, right? Are you in the recording? Is it all good? Could you briefly check on a monitor? Because it is there's something on Discord.
Testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3. It sounds good. It
Okay,
could just
cool.
be.
Then it's just
it could
Discord
just
again.
be
All right, all good.
Discord. But
Just to me, seeing someone put on headsets when they have AirPods in is delusional shit.
No, it's different. He's linked up to the tech, man, in his mind everywhere. He's so connected. It's like me with hats. It's it's just never ending. There's always one more.
There's actually some War of the World shit happening in here.
What do you have? Huh? You gonna stack some more Blu-rays and DVDs next to you, Kevin? What do you have to offer?
I mean, probably.
But no, what do you feel about this? Because you've been on for special episodes. What does it feel like to maybe become a bit more of an actual member?
The last 4 months have been the most dark months of my life. Honestly, every day I woke up, I sat in front of my PC, and I just looked at blank screens. I just raw dogged the entire day, looking at blank monitors, doing nothing, just sitting in my chair, thinking about the dark, empty nothingness that is this life. And then I went to bed, and then I woke up again, and then one day I got a message: the podcast is returning. And then now we're here, and I'm all jollied up, ready for the adventure.
Yeah, and I assume our whole audience has experienced the same thing of this blackout state of being. And finally, 3 white guys can yap about movies some more, and your world is back to being whole. But yeah, do we want to kick off our first topic here? I'd throw it to Lachlan. What do you want to talk about? What do we miss?
Yeah. I mean, so even though we've only been recording for less than like, I don't know, 5 minutes, do we explain what we're doing today? How we're changing it up a little bit for this episode? At least the return episode.
I said in the intro, it's a bit of like a sort of different topics around.
I have
the
no
film
idea. I
world to
blacked
catch
out.
up, yeah.
I won't lie to you. I definitely blacked out.
You usually do that in the intro. I'm used to it.
I'm waiting for you to say
back to
something, and then
basics.
I'm like, and this episode, I didn't get to say my part. I didn't say the line. You know, so it was a bit weird. Look, okay, so. You know what? Let's just forget whatever I just said. Let me just pull up what I've got over here. My big starting point, and this is a big one. There's a bug in my room. This is I bought a house, and this is my house, and it's getting renovated slowly. That's why there's so much things here. My green screen is hanging up there. That's got to hang up on the wall. So it's all coming together. But sorry for now. And the room's got to be treated a little bit. It's a little bit echoey. But hey, that's a tangent. That's
Dude,
not.
You know what? The thing that it's life is all about. It's always there's a progress bar that goes to the next thing, and it's constantly going. And if we're all the same and all just like not ever changing, then it would be boring. So I I'm looking forward to see the transformation in the background there.
Big news. Because for a very long time, there was a lot of rumors of who was going to be directing the next James Bond movie. We've had rumors of who's going to be James Bond, and that's kind of died off because I think everyone's kind of landed on Aaron Taylor Johnson for that one, even though they haven't like technically announced it, but there's been like some subtle hints with him partnering up with some watch brand who I can't remember what the name is because I'm not a big watch guy. But Denis Villeneuve has been selected at this stage, because things can change, to direct the next James Bond film. And I think that this is huge because I remember that someone else was going to go for it, but they weren't going to give them picture lock. I know that like Edgar Wright, Jonathan Nolan were all kind of like looking at going for this project, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't get like final picture lock, which is crazy that you're not going to give literally the guy who has had some of the best films in the past 10 years. He's never missed not the final picture lock. And it's really interesting. Not only like, Denis Villeneuve is directing James Bond, but there are some like caveats with him actually directing it. So what did you guys think of him? Because obviously he's got Dune Messiah next, which I think has just started production. And you're going to have Dune Messiah, and then afterwards he is going to have this. And also he's also got like Cleopatra in the work, and Rendezvous with Rama, and Nuclear War, a scenario. These are all like different things that he has in the works right now. But after Dune Messiah, apparently this is going to be it. He's going to do a James Bond film. So I'd like to hear what you guys think about this one.
The rumor mill of Bond, honestly, was very long for it. At the time, you got a Bond rumor almost every week, right? You had the Aaron Taylor Johnson. Honestly, my favorite rumor was Aaron Pierre, the lead of Rebel Ridge, as Bond. And honestly, that was my favorite rumor because while mine not come to fruition, I think him as Bond would have been perfect. You can have the argument of, should Bond be a black person somewhere else? For me, honestly, Aaron Pierre, we've had a female 007. Anything is possible from now on for me. Anyway, that was my favorite rumor. And when I saw Villeneuve would direct Bond, I was like, oh, damn. Caveat, no picture lock. I indeed was also like you. Huh? To the guy that has been producing for 15 years. Banger, banger, banger. A bit weird, but honestly, that just might be... it's because of the Amazon leadership, right?
Exactly.
Maybe.
I think, the sort of like Barbara Broccoli's involvement, the people who held the rights before, they were definitely like hands-on with the direction that Bond is taking. I don't know how much they were like actually involved with like picture lock and like seeing the stages of the film. So it's just, if they were still attached to it, because they clearly have a care for it, I would be less concerned about picture lock not being with Villeneuve. But because it is Amazon and they've openly stated that, I mean, they're just gonna milk this franchise, right? They're gonna try and do it as much as they can. That's the nature of the big business aspect of it. that could definitely go into the wrong direction. Where we end up getting a really fragmented version of this. And then Villeneuve seemed to be this kind of Hail Mary thing of you have someone who everyone loves, who's everyone's confident and he can make sort of any adaptation great. That like now you're wondering, okay, why are you not giving this guy full control until the very end? But I don't know. Sometimes it's like a good, like I don't know if you look at Ari Aster and like the budget he's given and then the crazy shit he does. Sometimes a bit of feedback that like forces you to change some stuff is valuable because like filmmaking is a very collaborative thing. But I don't think that Villeneuve so far with these big projects has kind of shown that he's like not able to make something great in a studio system. I feel like he'll make something great. It's just going to be the question of how much involvement is Amazon going to have to make it a lesser thing. But I'm super confident that this next Bond will be, whoever it ends up casting will be good. Like it will be a good movie.
Well, we already know one addition with Stephen Knight, who has been brought on as a writer. We know the writer of Peaky Blinders, and if we're talking about movies, I believe he wrote Maria, Spencer, Eastern Promises. And
the Pablo Larraín stuff,
He's also the director of Locke, the Tom Hardy car movie, to kind of short in that one. But I think he's been in director jail since Serenity, that Anne Hathaway McConaughey movie. But he's been delivering stellar work on the writer's side, so I'm looking forward to what he will bring to the screenplay.
I'd really like Dave Bautista to play Oddjob. If you guys don't know who Oddjob is, it's the just type up Oddjob Goldfinger and just look at him and go, okay, damn. He's got the same build as Dave Bautista, so I just want Dave Bautista to come in and play Oddjob. Anyway, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I'm in the same kind of boat as Kevin. I don't give a fuck who plays James Bond next. All I really want is a little bit of a less serious Bond. I think that I'm in the same ballpark as a lot of James Bond fans. Like the Daniel Craig ones were really good for being like serious, but there needs to be that sort of like fun and like campiness and like just like the fun that the original Bonds have, especially like the Brosnan ones, especially like they're a lot more fun than the James Bond like Daniel Craig ones. But I think that a lot of people kind of assume Denis Villeneuve isn't really good for comedy, but I would actually say like Doom Part 2 has some really comedic moments in it that like they actually made me laugh quite a bit. So I feel like that film is quite serious and there are some lighthearted moments. It is something that he could do. So I'm kind of keen to see this, especially because he is also a huge fan of Bond himself. He really loves the Sean Connery James Bonds. He grew up watching them, so yeah, I'm actually happy with this. I'm okay with this.
I mean, you just want someone who like there's a well-written script and someone who is charismatic enough to portray this character, and through that you have a lot of like comedic moments. When I think the action is still at the front and center, like the spy stuff, the thriller aspects of the film, but you can pair that with comedy in a way where like the comedy doesn't take over, but it can be sillier. While not like going like there are the full-on spoofs on the Bond franchise, like there's a ton of them, even just the Naked Gun out in theaters right now, like that's something that is definitely like making fun of that sort of thing. So it doesn't need to be a full-on comedy, but maybe a bit of a lighter tone, right? A bit like less doom and gloom
Takes
and everything's
itself
depressing.
Not that seriously. Give me some like crazy like I'm gonna launch a nuclear bomb and blow up the whole. Actually, you know what? I think Rami Malek did that in the last one. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up now.
He did do that. I mean, I'm gonna throw in a name. I think Callum Turner would be a fun one. I mean, he pulled Dua Lipa, so I can buy him as Bond pulling any other woman being charismatic. So
if I want to know an addition to this Villeneuve Bond right now, it's the DP. Because, honestly, not enough people talk about the cinematography of the most recent Bonds. We already got Roger Deakins, Linus Sandgren with No Time to Die. So the Bonds have been looking stellar. And I'm really curious, obviously Villeneuve has only a few DPs he's worked with. within the last few years. Fraser. I forgot who's doing Messiah.
Linus Sandgren?
Oh, it is him. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just funny.
Yeah, he did First Man, La La Land. Like he did some stuff with Damien
Yeah.
Chazelle, Babylon,
So I'm looking forward to
and No Time to
Will
Die.
do-
Okay.
And No Time
Yeah.
to Die. So I'm looking forward to really do the next Bond as well. So that's honestly the addition I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the DP?
Yeah, it's a very, very visual art form, this whole movie thing, but Bond specifically is like the last couple have been a standout in the way that they've looked as well, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna put a pin in the Bond conversation. I'm sure it will have news later this year. And when do you guys think we can expect this latest, like, this next Bond film to release? Like, do we see it in 2027, 2028? Like, how long does it
End
take?
of 2027, perhaps the beginning of 2028, because you've also got to think about is Bond a summer movie? I believe it has come out most of the time in the summer. Or
I
at
actually
least,
don't
like,
know.
September, I think.
But
because
it's also about
it's
like how's
UK.
Villeneuve available in a way,
Yeah.
like, you know, what's his availability like?
I'm sorry. How many productions is Villeneuve involved in it now? I think it's at least 5, 6, or 7 on his IMDb alone. I'm actually gonna look right now.
Yeah, and you wonder, you know, a lot of these films that he's working on or said that he's working on maybe might fall through because this needs to be fast tracked, and because Amazon wants this movie out sooner than later.
He's got 5 movies. He's involved in
Damn.
as a director.
What's the
Dune Part
fifth
3,
one? Yep.
Nuclear War,
Yep.
A Scenario, Bond 26,
Yep.
Cleopatra, and
Yep.
Rendezvous with Rama. And I believe he said like, oh, I want to do Rendezvous with Rama before Cleopatra. Now he's doing Dune Part 3 before, I guess, Rendezvous with Rama. So, I don't know. I have no clue. The guy's schedule
Well, I
is
guess he's
packed.
doing. It says pre-production for Nuclear War, so I guess that will be the one that goes into production after Dune Part 3. And then whatever's
don't
ready
know.
for the rest of them. I mean, obviously, that's IMDb. I don't know how accurate that is for actually where it's at, but I'm looking forward to it. Bond 26. I honestly, I haven't seen any but the Daniel Craig ones. This is like a huge blind spot for me. I almost, this summer, because our cinema is closed, that I work at, that I'm the head technician of, and the theater is empty at the moment, I was this close to like taking 3 days to binge through all of the movies and make like a marathon thing out of it, but then I kind of chickened out because it sounded like too intense to watch 52 hours of Bond films or 54 hours of Bond films nonstop. Sounds a
By
bit like
yourself.
torture. What did you say?
No, nothing.
Okay,
We can move on with the next topic.
Uh-huh. Sure, it's your topic, Kevin. What do you want to
It's
talk
my
about?
topic. Oh,
Mhm.
well, guys, I don't know about you, yeah, but every time when we do these, best of the year so far things, I always wonder, like, what were the movies we got last year? And I've started to look into it, and like by this time last year, we had Dune Part 2, we had Hitman, we had Furiosa, we had Challengers, and it's like. And then we have, the other movies that, still come over. We had The Last Stop in Yuma County. We had Monkey Man, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, La Chimera, Chime, Civil War. So those were all the movies we already had by this year. I was thinking to myself, is this year sort of lackluster so far? Because, I've gone to my list and it's like, we got Black back. We got Bring Her Back 28 years later. The Life of Chuck, but I'm like, we don't really have much of the movie that have reached the same height as last year. So I'm thinking like, is this year really lackluster so far?
I mean, short answer for me, I don't think no, but that ends up being the case because I watch so many movies that it doesn't feel like, it is underwhelming to me. I have no clue how it is for someone, maybe Lachlan, you're the perfect person to ask that. Like, because we didn't do the podcast, a lot of movies didn't grab your attention enough to go out to see it. So how do you feel about this year so far?
I have recently kind of got an effort into trying to catch up on the films that I've missed. So I've recently purchased a couple that I'm ready to watch. So for example, I'm gonna eventually now watch Thunderbolts, How to Train Your Dragon. What else did I get that just came out on VOD? The Phoenician Scheme. I haven't seen the new Wes Anderson film.
Oh, that's surprising.
For me, I had a really weird couple of months, not really watching a lot of movies because, one, I've been in a bit of a, I've been moving house, so I've been, renovating and stuff, and then, in another video that we've got coming out, I've put 105 hours into Death Stranding 2, because right now, my thing that I really wanted to consume, out of everything this year that I was keen for, Death Stranding 2 was probably my number one thing, and I think it has its flaws, but it is mostly an absolutely fun time. But I've got Warfare downloaded. I've got How to Train Your Dragon, Ballerina. That's one. Phoenician Scheme. But for me, the films that I have seen, right? So earlier on, I've seen something like Companion that I thought was quite fun. I thought The Monkey was kind of fun. I thought The Gorge as a straight to streaming kind of thing was actually kind of fun. Black Bag was again really engaging. I don't think it was fun in the other sense of those other films, but it was. The Minecraft movie was a thing, but we've all got to watch that. Mickey 17, we had Sinners that I watched, and I thought Sinners was fantastic. I wish I really saw that in cinemas, but hey, I watched it at home, that's okay. I watched Novocaine, Snow White was a thing. Electric State, that was trash. There's a lot of stuff that's come out that I haven't seen yet that I really want to see. Haven't seen Superman, but I don't think it's lackluster. I still think that there's quite a big thing around, especially the superhero movies this year, because we've had not that many, but I think most people have been quite happy with, at least from the response that I've seen with Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and Superman. Most of those have been positive, and none of them have been dog shit level. Maybe was it Brave New World, Captain America, that came out? I think that's probably the only one that everyone was kind of terrible, but it wasn't 4 Marvel movies that came out and everyone was just shitting on it. So I think that there's been a good amount of films that, maybe not 10 out of 10 bangers. I think the only film this year that I've actually given 5 stars to, I'm just gonna double check what I gave Mickey 17, because I don't think I gave that 5 stars. Gave that 4. I gave Sinners 5 stars on my first watch. I thought Sinners was literally the only movie I could ever describe as, this movie is cool. Even last year, I don't think I was that straight to giving Longlegs 5 stars. But when I watched Sinners, I watched this and I went, this is one of the best crafted, handmade, loved films that I've watched in such a long time. And everything, even though it was such there wasn't a lot of substance to it, the substance. Sinners was just, it was so fucking cool. And I literally I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I loved every moment of it. And the biggest thing, and I think that's why I gave it 5 stars, was I immediately regretted not going and seeing it in cinemas when I could. So I know that Superman has now kind of gone out of all of the good screenings in cinemas. They're not in any of the good surround sound Dolby cinemas now, and because Fantastic Four has just come out, so I know that I'm not going to be able to go and see that, at least in the screen that I want. But there are a decent amount of blockbusters, a decent amount this year. I think in comparison to last year, Jurassic World, Mission Impossible, all of your Marvel films. I'm trying to think of what other big blockbuster we've kind of had that was F1 you could describe as Marvel. Minecraft movies are blockbuster, so I don't think it's lackluster. I think that it's still really good.
There's a difference between, does the audience go out to see a film and it being successful? Then you have the Lilo and Stitch, the How to Train Your Dragons, the Minecraft movies. But if you're looking for movies that at the end of the year are going to be, I think your question, Kevin, is do we have, I feel like the back half of the year is going to be filled with most of the films that we're going to talk about in our best of the end of the year. Is this year need to still ramp up? And I think last year felt similar in the way that we had Furiosa coming out of Gunn that I think was seen by some by a lesser compared to Mad Max, but that was one of the highlights, a spectacle action filmmaking. And then you had Dune, which also was this grand epic. But I think this year my favorite films have been mainly drama comedies or full up comedies, which is not really the case usually. And I think a lot of the stuff where we have a filmmaker that comes back, like Celine Song with Materialist, Oscar Perkins with The Monkey, the latest Wes Anderson film with Venetian Scheme, the Jurassic World movie, like a lot of it felt a bit underwhelming from people who we were excited about their last project, and then the follow-up since then that we were anticipating didn't really deliver. So I feel like that's what I felt this year quite a bit, ended up like kind of taking back the excitement you maybe have for some of the films you were looking forward to. But then again, we also got Final Destination. This fanboy was happy with what I got. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but like I had fun. 28 years later delivered for a lot of people. And there were some highlights along the way as well. And I think it's always like the sort of nuanced thing of you'll find the good stuff if you look good enough. You'll find something that
absolutely.
Like you end up enjoying.
It's just like an interesting thing to look at every year, because I sort of take screenshot of my ranking throughout the years just to see how much it evolves, because it never stays the same. Clearly in the fall, when all the big hitters come out, it naturally changes. But I'm also sort of worried there's going to be a bottleneck, because now we have
all so much
with all the Cannes stuff with Venice and TIFF, which has absurd amount of movies that are very high profile. I'm also sort of worried because they are going to come out in the fall, beginning of 2026, and 2026. There's like a list of movies that are going to come out by certain directors, and that list in 2026 is stacked. You already got Dune Messiah, you already have the Odyssey and everything. So I'm really fearing for a bottleneck of movies that are going to be pop above the radar or going to go completely under the radar.
Which honestly, I think that is exciting. Like that sort of, I think it's because it's always overwhelming. But I think the sentiment for the last couple of years has always been that there's not enough good stuff where I'm just not interested enough to go to the cinema, and have a surplus of like qualified good stuff from people we respect and look forward to. I mean, it can't hurt to like have a great film that goes overlooked, because then you can spotlight. It is harder to go look for good stuff that if there's a sea of like mid things releasing.
I will say, I think navigating the waters in terms of movies that have come out this year so far has been pretty chill, but the upcoming months, like it's gonna be quite hectic. And that's why
scared.
You have to watch the Quiet on Set podcast to
so we'll
watch
cover
all
it all.
your reviews right here.
Let's go.
Was that a good ad?
That was a good ad. I'd subscribe. Actually, I'm totally unbiased in this. Like I have no stake in this, but I definitely subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with the latest in movies and TV.
Sorry, Lachlan, I interrupted you. What did you want to say?
I have no idea. Cheers.
He's raw dogging sometimes this recording
man.
as well, where he's just like whenever
Appreciate
we
it.
talk, he just spaces out and then he channels back in.
Yeah.
Well, we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah, I mean, that's just I went to Cannes again this year. I did a kind of a live stream. I'm still doing some reviews for some of them. Honestly, it's always a mess, because if I'm being 100% honest, I'm so glad that I get invited back to this, and then coverage is kind of lackluster, because my energy is all spent in watching as many movies as I can, which is a bit selfish because I just enjoy watching this many movies. I watched 72, which was one of I think it was my record for any festival, and the same sort of question of has it been lackluster could be asked about these festivals as well.
Khan.
I am. What did you just don't watch the movies, or
No,
I'm not raw
all you do is
I'm
you
taking
just
notes.
sit there and just watch it.
Exactly, but I don't know what I watched. It's just to see this nice. I'm not actually watching it, but I mean, there is a certain truth to that, ironically as well, because it can start to like blend together. It's going to just be difficult to be as present for all of these films if you go outside into the bright sunlight and then you go back inside into a dark room and you do that 5 times over. It is quite jarring, like just physically, but I wouldn't trade it for the way. I think it's my favorite thing to do. But I get to do it multiple times a year, which is super privileged. But I thought there were some solid films that came out here. Only a few of them have already released. Like we often talk about, Kevin and I, like a specific movie, Stolen, out of Venice. Some of them never release. Some only get the local European run when it's a French film. Sometimes it only releases in France, and that is a pity. But we still like to spotlight them.
Actually, Ewan, can I just quickly interrupt?
Yes.
Stolen actually has released. It is on Amazon Prime Video.
Oh wow!
Everywhere globally, I believe, like just last month or the month before. So it only took us 3 years, I think, or 2 years for that movie to
keep
finally
mentioning it so we don't forget it as well. Yeah. It wasn't even like, it's not like it's a phenomenal movie. It was just really good and we didn't expect it. And those movies do often get overlooked. And it's definitely like a certain type of festival crowd that is also interested in these films. But I think we had a solid selection of movies there. Like my favorite film of the year usually comes out of Cannes, and this year that was Splitsville, which does have a release date for later in the year. I think at the beginning of September in the States, and I think it's just brilliant. It was like I've loved The Naked Gun as well, that just came out literally I guess this week. But if you haven't seen The Climb as well, like that's a movie that maybe you'd enjoy, Kevin, because it's basically just this conversation between two guys. As have you seen? By the way, I'm yapping about it, but have you seen The Climb?
I've seen scenes of it, but I haven't watched the full movie of it. So, but I do know the concept.
It's like a couple different sequences, but one of them is just like them riding along on the bike and they're talking to each other. And the dynamic between those two, who are also in Splitsville, are so good. Then Adria Arjano, I think that's how I learned to say her name properly. And Dakota Johnson, also in My Beloved Adria Arjano. Damn you, Jason Momoa. But yeah, that was a hilarious movie. I think Sentimental Value was great. And then I had some weirder favorites, but how was it for you to like experience Cannes? Was there anything that got you excited from those early, like sort of the early buzz that got created from people who got to attend the festival?
I didn't pay attention to any coverage. I've got nothing on this one, guys. I haven't seen any film that's released at Cannes.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Eddington at this point, which was
a
Cannes release.
I've seen that one. Yeah. Hang on, let me see what films released at Cannes.
Because I know you are very excited for the latest from Lynn Ramsey, who did Die My Love, and you must have heard something about that.
Oh shit!
I saw Mission Impossible.
Debuted at Cannes.
Yeah, it also debuted at Cannes. Yeah. Because some movies have released at this point.
And Sentimental Value I've watched already as well.
You know what? I am just a big fat liar. I have seen, 2 things. Sorry.
No, you're good.
If I had to say something to which I'm looking forward to the most out of what I've seen from Cannes, it's a few movies. It's Exit 8, which we'll talk about in a bit. Then probably Resurrection. I think Resurrection is probably the movie I'm looking forward to the most out of entirety of Cannes. Yeah, Resurrection.
Yeah,
definitely.
And that was the one that I would love to revisit. If you, I don't know how to describe this film, but it's just the pure atmosphere of like something really weird. That it starts off with being just a asylum film for a solid like 20 minutes, and a lot of people walked out of that, and it was so funny because it then takes a completely different turn and becomes this dreamlike vision soundscape that is ever molding, and it was so artistic and it blew me away. But I could see people hate this like a lot and not finish it. But I found it really interesting. So yeah, hopefully it finds the right people who are interested in this sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was happy to see the latest Linklater. Like I was higher on something like Renoir, the director who did Plan 75. There were a bunch of films that, not as much as Going into Venice, which Kevin and I will cover later this month. I think there's a few more films that, like, I don't think that Park Chan-wook can make a bad movie. I would be so surprised. So my excitement level is a bit higher than whatever I heard Richard Linklater do Nouvelle Vague, right, for example. Obviously I was very excited for Sentimental Value, and that did deliver, but there's a bit more of solid stuff around that isn't as much of a gamble. When even the cast here, there was a Paul Mescal movie and Josh O'Connor called The History of Sound, and it was just kind of it was decent, but it was nothing to write home about. And I
mean,
think,
you've told
yeah.
me like there are like 25 to 30 movies I'm looking forward to at Venice, which I can't say I can say about other festivals in the past.
And I'm looking at the 20 to 25 range here from what I've ranked in Gun, and I don't know if I'm like passionate about any of these films. They were solid, and I'd recommend them, but they'll find their niche audiences. But yeah, usually you'd hope for a bit more, but that's sort of the high expectations you have for a festival like Gun, who's supposed to be like the best movies of the year. And this year it had some good ones, but maybe not as much as
we'll
the last
compare
few
the top 20 of Cannes and Venice.
Exactly.
The top 20.
Sure. Cool. Well, we'll go for the top 20. That sounds good. Anyways, that was just me talking a bit more about Gun and being a bit of an asshole for getting to go. But I'm looking forward to going. Hopefully again. It's honestly the best time of the year.
Gotta say.
It is a bit sweaty because no comment. It's just it gets sweaty. It's hot. What can I say? Anyways, Lachlan, you got another topic that we want to talk about?
Yes. We have finally got a movie from Hollywood that has made $1 billion at the box office. That's right. Lilo and Stitch is the first film from Hollywood that has made $1 billion at the box office. Now, what is that? Why do I keep saying Hollywood? Well, that's because the Chinese film Nizar 2 actually has made almost $1.9 billion at the box office this year, which is crazy. So it's not the first film to cross $1 billion, but this is the first Hollywood film to cross $1 billion. As reference, gentlemen, I will just let you know that a Minecraft movie has reached 955 million, so very close to hitting $1 billion.
Broke.
But then these two actually surprised me because these only came out, well, at least one came out fairly recently. Jurassic World Rebirth has done $728 million worldwide. How to Train Your Dragon, 610. Mission Impossible has done 592 mil. Superman has done 527. F1 has done 527 as well. And then you got Captain America at 400 and Thunderbolts at 382. So I think what we can kind of see is that there are some of these films that have kind of had pretty good marketing campaigns. I think F1 went really hard and see it that it made $527 million. It's actually really crazy to see that it kind of topped over some Marvel films. To see
especially like foreign release, right?
Yeah, to see
internationally, it made a lot of money.
To see Rebirth come up there pretty quickly shows how strong the Jurassic World IP is, or the Jurassic Park IP is, that people will still go and see these films because everyone fucking loves dinosaurs. It's kind of interesting to see this. So, what do you guys think of this? It's a bit of a nothing topic, but it's I thought it was kind of cool.
Well, I mean. It's numbers, right? That's what a lot of success is kind of determined by. Does the movie make back its money? Especially with those that have a huge inflated budget, you want it to make the money back. And I mean, we've talked about that with Mission Impossible, that like sort of keeping people on staff during COVID to like get like it massively ballooned this budget that it's pretty much like really impossible for this movie to turn a bigger profit because it has so much to cover. Where something like Jurassic World Rebirth, I think they budgeted, I think 180 million if, at the top of my head, like a bit lower than maybe you'd expect from what has come to be like 200 to 250, the norm for these big blockbusters. But Jurassic World movies always make like $1 billion. Like for some reason,
this one maybe
dinosaurs, maybe this one not, right? But they always turn such a huge profit. You can kind of bank on them no matter what the quality is. People will go see it. To me, what stands out is that we have both How to Train Your Dragon at number 5 and Lilo and Stitch at number 2. Essentially Hollywood release, like you said, like the most successful English movie, American movie this year has been Lilo and Stitch. And it is like a live action remake of something, of an animated film. And we got 2 of those in the top 5. I don't know how to feel about that, because they already greenlit like the second one, and
I mean, you can also even count Minecraft movie as a live action movie.
I guess it is sort of, you take that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like an adaptation of something, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're going to see like, sequels or remakes or sort of franchise movies in the highest grossing films of the year. I think that's going to be the case from here on out. I don't see us escaping this loop anytime soon. Other than like something like Sinners, which is really exciting to see, at spot number 11, I think, is Sinners, and then followed up by, I believe, Final Destination Bloodlines. Like, that did so well. Like, I think it was the most successful in the franchise. I love to see that sort of stuff to peek through that. Like, I think I'm taking away sort of the topic that we're going to bridge over with, I think, your next point, Kevin, is the success of like these horror films this year has been pretty surprisingly like high as far as profit margins go. Rarely does a horror movie make more than like $100-200 million, and we basically have two of them. With, if you consider Sinners a sort of horror film,
it is
partly, definitely is, right? And then Final Destination Bloodlines is also up there, and then we also have 28 Years Later, which did well. I'm looking at the box office, and it's looking pretty healthy. Neja 2 is also about to release by A24 with the English dub into American markets. It only has made about like 21 million so far, so it's going to probably cross 200 million, right? I can see that happening if the interest, maybe the interest is not there at all. I don't know, but I'm looking at it, and it's looking fine. But again, I think if you look at the quality of a film year, you probably shouldn't look at the top 10 highest grossing films of the year. But it's going to be what most people are going to see, because by merit of money spent, that's what most people end up going to see. But I don't know, a bit of a nothing burger, like you said.
For me, the victor is definitely F1 to do 527. Also, the way they've played it safe, because like they played this very, very smartly, because like they also had $40 million in sponsorships already sold. So that's kind of for their racing team, for their fictional racing team. So the fact that got so much money sort of secured the authorship Apple has been, having recently on their service with Scorsese, Kosinski, and now hopefully they'll continue that authorship, because there is a success has been proven with F1. So looking forward to that.
Lachlan, do you have anything else on like the box office stuff of the year?
Only other thing I probably wanted to kind of point out is, I mean, last year there was 3 Hollywood films that broke $1 billion inside out, 2 Deadpool and Wolverine and Moana 2. But it completely pulls into your point that you made. Here's the top 10. I'd like you to name a original IP. Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Moana 2, Despicable Me 4, Wicked, Mufasa, The Lion King, Dune Part 2, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, Kung Fu Panda 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I'll keep going until we get something original. Venom, The Last Dance, Gladiator 2, Beetlejuice, YOLO. Hang on, I don't even know what the fuck that is.
That is a Chinese movie. It is
hang on.
An original
there
one,
we go. We got an original one.
It's not.
Shout out to China, who's doing
good, some numbers,
some new IP.
It did do some numbers. I think it grossed only all of its money in China though. I don't think it had like a worldwide release. Same goes for, I think, the
worldwide
there was
release.
Also I think Pegasus 2 and Successor, which were all like Chinese movies, but it's a big enough market, so they break into all of this. I mean, to me, what's notable that there's no American animated movie that has had a huge, I mean, Minecraft movie is almost like an animated film, but it's these animated live action adaptations that like the closest we got. Like Elio didn't, like, kind of bombed comparatively when it comes to like
wait,
Pixar
Elio
stuff
came out?
Yeah, came out, and it,
what's
a
up
splash
with,
of nothing.
Random tangent here. What's up with movies having really shit marketing campaigns recently? Because there have been movies that have come out that I have not realized have actually launched. I haven't seen a trailer. I haven't seen like a fucking poster for it. It just kind of like shadow drops and then it's gone.
I think
Was
they
this done
still
on purpose?
spend a
And
lot
I
of money
talked
on
about
it.
this,
Yeah,
and it's Pixar is dead. Pixar is dead in theaters, and I don't know why. Unless it's like one of their big lovable babies, like Toy Story, etc. I don't think they will have successful movie in theaters anymore.
I think it's as simple as like releasing them on Disney Plus, and people are now waiting for certain Disney releases to drop on Disney Plus, and they can just wait. Because if you look at the numbers, Moana is still like one of the most things like in library. Like, you know, they got that locked, they got the rights to it, and people just return back to the same thing. They don't need a new sort of movie to break out, unless it is something like, I think, yeah, something like the Despicable Me Minions will drive people out, and if it's something else that they know. But if it's new IP animation, it's dead. It is so dead. For the money it costs to make, yeah, it needs to be something that is tied to like something else, and that is a bit concerning, and it's a bit sad, because like, you know, those were often the money grossers. The sort of animated films that I mean, if you look at last year, right, we have Inside Out 2, Moana 2, and Despicable Me 4. Like 3 of the top 4 movies were all animated.
Also, actually, on the marketing side of things, like, it also has changed quite a bit, you know, because usually you had, you know, your sort of go-tos, interviews that you would have. You either had the hot ones, you know, your BuzzFeed and all that. But recently, even that has sort of shifted, I think, because, you know, for the new Naked Gun, for example, the promotion has sort of been, hey, Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson are together now. And I have not really seen much more promotion of Naked Gun besides that sort of news.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also really dependent on like, where do you even see promotional stuff? Like, do you go out to the theaters and see a trailer for a movie, or do you see it on social media, or do you have an ad block on so you see less? Like, how do we reach people through what they organically watch on YouTube? So you put people more onto these like personality type shows like a Hot Ones, and there's more and more of those pop up that often like they sometimes come out before something releases. Sometimes they even come out like as it's already in theaters, and it's less of that like churn that you have with press is, okay, this is the embargo, this is when we want you to release it. There's less a lockstep walk with the actual like distribution company for it to be a promotional tool, but it like, because they are way more dependent on individuals over these institutions of journalism, because that's ever shifting. So I think it's like a larger discussion and like sort of topic that is currently evolving, and I don't know where marketing is going. And then we praise these like one-off things that end up like capturing everyone because it goes viral, and it ends up creating a moment that people see as success. But is it a success Minecraft that everyone's screaming chicken chalky and like throwing shit at the theater? Is that actually a success for theaters, or is it just a monetary thing that is momentarily great for a movie, but as a whole it's not going to change the behavior of shitty people in theaters going back to see more stuff and being they need to tap into this viral moment? Otherwise it's like, that's not marketing, that's just virality, and you can't really create a marketing campaign around trying to get viral. I think that's a bad thing overall, to try to create viral moments for movies to sell them. It should be on the merit of the films being entertaining.
Virality is the reason Barbenheimer was such a thing, you know, so we can't...
I know it's good. Yeah, I think it's like, it can be good and bad. Yeah, it's like, it's not black and white obviously, but yeah, like, I don't know, especially with the stuff that is a bit more where more young people are involved, it can often devolve into, no, I have no concern for other people around me. It's all for the online cloud, or yeah, I don't know. I get really frustrated with that. Obviously, like being involved with running a theater as well, I don't have to deal with that because we don't have commercial movies like that. But it's
what do
annoying.
You think, Lachlan?
Think of
like the marketing and everything about.
As I said, there's nothing.
Just frustrated that you didn't see it. Huh?
There's no. Yeah, I actually was kind of keen to see it because it was original, it was new, but I didn't know it fucking came out. I thought it was coming out like later this year, but I fucking missed it.
I think there's a true vacuum for this. Pixar, Disney.
Yeah,
but it's on Disney Plus.
No. I don't think it's already out on Disney. Is it already out on Disney Plus? Let's see. Because
I haven't even seen it on Disney Plus.
No, but I also remember about Elio.
No, it's not yet.
So a cut of Elio was shown, and like the leadership, or whoever the fuck gives notes, was like, it's a bit too queer, or like the audience was saying it's a bit too much, and like they sort of backpedaled on that front. So It's
Yeah,
I don't know what to think.
it also doesn't help. Like, I thought it was like a 6 out of 10 movie. It wasn't. Didn't blow me away. But from some people,
but Elemental was
really
also
like it.
not great, but that at least grew at the box office.
It grew, but it didn't do. It still wasn't great. I think it's like right. It got back to like being kind of not a loss for them, but. I mean, it's like, I think ultimately, if we keep going back to saying like numbers are ultimately not interesting, let's talk about the movies within. But it's also like, it's then concerning that it shifts what types of movies are made, right? Depending on what's successful and what's not. But it's not out on digital even. I don't see it like. I think it's because it came out in June. It felt like it was longer ago when it came out, but
same.
it only was last month, or 1 or 2 months ago. But yeah, not I guess to self-glaze too much, but I think that's the sort of aspiration that maybe we have as this channel, as a bit of an outlet to be like a place where you hear about a film for the first time. We tell you when it's releasing. We also review it on a way of like, is it actually worth seeing? And then also, if it's something that we multiple of us have seen, we dive into like a spoiler review for it, to have that sort of promotion to discussion, all of it here. I think that is definitely what is missing overall. And I think a lot of it has shifted to TikTok, which all of us don't really use that much, but a lot of that film discussion from young people has moved over there, and it is massively influential on what people actually go out to see for like younger audiences, right? That's why you need to grab them. Kevin, you got some things to say about horror being the saving grace for 2025?
Yeah. So obviously my previous statement was 2025 has been a lackluster year. We've discussed that. Now I think horror has been really, really good this year. Perhaps dare I say it's been a saving grace of this year. My top 10 alone, and actually top 6. We got Bring Her Back, which I love. We got 28 Years Later. We got Sinners. Only those 3 movies. By the way, I haven't even seen Together yet, but that has been in a limited release right now. We got Weapons coming out next week. I'm sorry if Together and Weapons are both bangers. That's an immaculate top 5 for a genre like this, and I think horror has been really, obviously there have been plenty of horror movies every year. They sort of, always have a return on investment because, people want to go to the movie theater and have like a little scare, and it's like, but I think horror this year has been really intelligent. Like, I haven't even mentioned Presence. Obviously Companion got mentioned earlier, and in terms of what's coming, we got The Long Walk, which I'm actually really interested in. Together, Weapons, I mentioned. We got Him, the Jordan Peele produced movie. Some people think he's directing it, but he's actually more producing it. Exit 8, you've seen that one already, and it delivered. I'm really excited for that one. We got The Black Phone 2, which is another Scott Derrickson movie that's coming out this year after The Gorge. And then we got The Conjuring, the final one apparently. We got Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. We got the new Hell House movie. So again, there's a lot of good things for
Shelby
horror
Oaks
fans on the rise. Shelby Oaks. I mean, I think horror will be a saving grace for this year.
Yeah, I mean, we even have Predator Badlands, so it's a bit of a action a horror
Predator,
film, right?
Killers of the Killers.
Did you say Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Like, that's commercial, but it's still like there's a lot. There's a lot. I agree with you. There's some good stuff on the horizon. I mean, to me, I can bundle in what would have been my next topic. I think Final Destination Bloodlines is exactly what I wanted it to be. It's just more of Final Destination finally over a decade's long wait, like 15 years. I don't know how long it was, but a long time. And I had a great time with it, and I think there was just a lot of films that were in the horror genre that people just had a great time with. They can be different enough that it doesn't feel like you get the same slog you get from the sort of similar comedic style of like reference wink at camera type that you can expect from other films that people have grown tired of, very understandably. And horror feels a bit fresh. It can be very different things, and I think you'll enjoy Together. I think I got to see it already, and I think it's fun.
And Lachlan actually has already seen one of them. with Sinners.
Yes, he's seen Sinners, right? And that was you gave that one a 5-star, a banger, and that is just not just a straight up horror film, right? It has a bit more to itself.
And I'm not a horror guy, but already the last 2 years, my favorite movies have been horror films because they have been genuinely reinventive of a genre that has been done for many, many years, and it's made it feel fresh again. And I fucking love that.
No, it's an exciting genre to just kind of follow, because there's always something new that and a lot of like fun people who are making films in that like maybe you don't expect to make horror films. That's kind of what keeps it fresh, and I'm liking it a lot. But I don't have much else to say about Final Destination Bloodlines. I think to the disgrace of me, Lachlan has not seen Final Destination Bloodlines.
Actually, if I can say one thing,
it's fine.
I don't like what they have done to Tony Todd's character in Final Destination Bloodlines. They've humanized him, and I've always liked him as a presence and not really as, as a sort of
passenger alongside death.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the biggest gripe I have with Final Destination Bloodlines.
It is very much a fan service type movie in a lot of ways.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's also just the classic expansion of the franchise, make the inciting incident like the biggest it's ever been, involving the most amount of people.
But do you agree with my flaw or not?
I didn't mind. I think the send-off for him was really nice still. I didn't mind it.
And the send-off was great. The send-off was great. It's just what they've done with this character, sort of making him a passenger instead of a presence.
I mean, they make him. Yeah, I like him as a presence more as well. But that's just also his presence as an actor. Is also like, I don't know, something about it. You can't do it justice because he's not with us anymore. And he was just such a core thing about all of these films, even in the smaller roles he had. Yeah. No, I love Tony Todd.
Now, Lachlan, what's your next topic?
All right, gentlemen, the last one. And I obviously wanted to make sure that we got some of the biggest news from the past couple of months that we missed. But Alcon Entertainment has announced that Chris Pratt is returning to voice Garfield in the sequel to the Garfield animated movie. How incredible is this, gentlemen? How incredible! I can see that Kevin is so happy that his favorite actor is returning for his favorite character on screen.
Oh yeah, Chris
Garfield.
Pratt, my favorite.
Have you guys seen the Garfield animated movie? Even the latest one?
No.
I mean, there's no. You don't have to ask me. It's obvious.
I wasn't going to ask you because I knew it was
for
trash.
The montage.
No.
The movie, it's not good. No.
Here's the real news. Okay, you go.
I saw the shot of his dad kicking Garfield out of a train.
Oh.
It's very over the top, like, and then it's very slapstick in that moment. But it's not a good movie overall.
But is there any other news, Lachlan?
This is the actual one. This is the real one. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has sold out its first ticket run a year before its release. That's right. They released the first IMAX tickets, which are for a 1570 format screenings for the opening weekend from July 16th. Yeah, July 16th to 19th. What's crazy is that the IMAX one in Melbourne, like that one has like 4 screenings on, and I think they sold like 1,800 tickets. And basically, like, they all sold out within an hour within the US, which is soon to be like that's so crazy to see that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that this is wild, and it kind of shows how keen people are to see someone do like Nolan has a following in the film space, but I also think that he's also transcended the film space, and I think that just anyone wants to go see a Christopher Nolan movie. I think that he's just like, what's he going to do next? People are like interested to see it, and they're interested to see it on this really cool format that very few people are shooting on.
Aren't they shooting on new IMAX cameras for this one as well?
Yeah, so some sort of new IMAX camera, which is crazy. I think it's like smaller or like quieter or lighter, because like they're big and loud cameras, and obviously he's on the move at the moment because he's shooting it and he's moving it around, so hustling it all about because he's shooting on location.
Yeah, there was a bit of wasn't there like a controversy for him shooting in the West Sahara, that it's like there was something about it. I didn't really closely follow that, but he's definitely shooting shooting on location and all that. I just, you know what, my plea is, if it's a year in advance of like selling out these theaters, maybe have because I don't have that issue because, you know, everything's subtitled here, but maybe have the option for, you know, the local release to have a subtitled version, because it's always a big issue that you don't understand whatever the fuck the characters are saying, because like it feels like he's just, when it comes to everything else he has a ton of care to it. When it comes to the sound mix, it sometimes just feels wrong, the way that stuff is too loud, the way that it's mixed. And it's one of like at first glance maybe it is a bit of like a movie too loud sort of dumb critique, but I think legit his sound mixing when it comes to the dialogue is not good. So
and
I think
you're particularly aiming at Tenet, right?
at Tenet, yeah. And now having, you know, worked as a film technician who programs these movies beforehand, and we did show Oppenheimer at a theater, it was just not good. It was really hard to like find a balance to not blow out the speakers and like have people come out and complain about the sound while still being able to like understand the dialogue. Obviously you can still rely on the subtitles in, you know, European theaters if you watch it in like a subbed version, but I don't know, I just don't think that like, yeah, to me it's a bit crazy that like that is seemingly what he wants. You know, it's not like he's not getting what he wants. He wants it to be this way.
Yeah, it's full creative control.
I'm not surprised at this news, because the news was also the Odyssey is going to be the first full feature IMAX 1.43 movie. So exactly, like the entire length will be that. Hearing that news will only get more people motivated. And I do think, you know, this sort of sold out news also adds strength to the theory that directors have become rock stars within the film space. You know, earlier in the 80s, in the 90s, hell, dare I even say 60s, 70s, even before then, you always went to see the actor, the main actor, the first name on the bill. And I think, you know, directors have slowly taken over that sort of fame. And I think only this news only adds integrity to that theory.
Yeah, because it ends up being like the most popular thing, ends up being, if you are an actor, you are part of the popular franchise thing. And if it's the unique thing, the unique character that you get to play, that's because there is a director behind it who makes that possible. So I think that's partly why that has shifted towards us, like, you know, recognizing a director as the quality assurance for a project. But even that like isn't consistent, right? If you look someone like, we keep bringing up Ari Aster, like you have two movies that people loved, and then his latest two are like super controversial, and yeah. I mean, there are a few like a Villeneuve or a Christopher Nolan who people just like unabashedly say this is it, and there's so many that, again, I'm also not surprised that it's sold out. To me, it's a bit surprising that they start selling it so early. They're confident that it's coming out on that day, then it's not going to move.
Especially with release date, as we know, also with the Horizon, right? They sold that beforehand, delayed the second one, and that also.
Yet to be seen, some out on the horizon are the sequels to this movie. I mean, the second one is done, but yeah, I don't know when and how that's going to release. But I'm super looking forward to it. Like you said, there's a new Villeneuve movie, there's a new Christopher Nolan movie next year. That's super exciting to have both of these grand filmmakers who people are excited about, like their vision.
Lachlan, have you seen the teaser for the Odyssey?
No.
Me neither.
I haven't been to the cinema to see it,
much.
And I try to stay away from it that when it was leaking online, so yeah.
Oh, yeah,
but is it still not online, like officially? Oh, no. I have the privilege of, again, theater technician here, that I program that stuff.
I work in a theater, and I am a theater technician, I got
this little thing. I got access to it.
You guys that I work in a theater, like
I get to see stuff early.
Yeah.
I'm the most annoying person on this podcast.
There's this guy who works at the back. He's the technician. He kind of like programs all of the cinema stuff, you know. Like,
so if you're cool enough, I can actually show you something.
Yeah. Wait, guys, don't fight. Unless you're gonna fight like the people doing Ghost Killer.
Oh,
that was the killer segue. No, but the next topic is, I've recently seen the film Ghost Killer. Ewan has as well, and I just wanted to bring up how this sort of refreshing action mise en scène that is on the rise in Japan. It just needs to be seen more. It's honestly been my favorite thing in the action realm of movies, with the Baby Assassins, with 1% Warrior, with Bad City, which I have not seen yet, and now Ghost Killer. This team that is behind it, Sakamoto. Very quickly, need to look it up. Do I still have it open somewhere? Kensuke Sonomura. Like, they've honestly been killing it. Their fight choreography, again, also to bring it sort of back with the stunt Oscar. Like, if that is ever there, I do hope movies like this get recognized at a place like the Oscars. But
I mean, it's tough because I think what we'll see in this first couple of years at the stunt category are going to be the blockbusters who have big action scenes over the stuff that maybe, doesn't even have a theatrical release. I think it probably will still need a pretty sizable theatrical release to be on the radar for people. But yeah, it shouldn't be that. Hopefully we can do that. I think I would be down to like have a sort of stunts category for us, like a video we do at the end of the year. What were the best fight sequences of the year? Because I'm watching more of them myself by just for the reason that Kevin keeps saying, like, hey, this movie came out and I never heard of it. Like, it's just sort of stuff that you keep up with. I probably wouldn't, because it's a bit harder to like be in those sort of spaces that spotlight these, because it kind of comes out in
really. It's only because I'm still the only
Japan
guy here on Twitter, so I know.
Yes, bro. I cannot go. I go to check like a disgusting film, and then I leave. It's the only thing I do on there. I can't do anything else, because like as soon as you scroll down and see someone like the replies, I feel like I'm collectively dumber for just having read what someone thought was worthwhile to put into the world. It is like that bad. It's so stupid.
I feel like they could say the same about us.
I don't think they could. No, I'm actually going to take a stance on this. No, Twitter is a fucking shithole. It is so bad and so stupid, and it's the worst social media.
Honestly, it's not been that case for me. Like, and I just think that is because my algorithm is confined to.
But when movies, you scroll down on film news, especially on like discussing film or like the popular sites. I don't read that, it's and you see the first and then I catch it, like it's stupid.
No, the first thing you always see is ad grok blank. Like,
exactly.
That's always the first thing.
I'm staying clear of.
But anyway, Twitter. Ghost Killer, Baby Assassins, Bad City. Go watch all of those. The stunts are innovating stuff. And honestly, very entertaining. Please do watch it. Thank you.
My final point here, I think I'm going to keep it brief, because it's basically a bit more of like two things that I've been up to. I know both of you aren't Nintendo fans, so I was the only one to pick up a Switch 2. Unfortunately, I had no one to play Mario Kart World with, and frustrating decisions are being made by Nintendo at all times. Yeah, you got the Switch 1, but you can't really play the new one, unfortunately, on that. And Kevin's showing us his ass again.
Look how much dust is on this thing.
Oh, God. That's crazy. But I've had a great time at the beginning. I streamed a bit of it as well, like my first experiences with the game, and also Donkey Kong, which I haven't really had time to complete, but that's been a ton of fun. So they had like two fun games. It's just a bit frustrating to see that online you can't really race anymore, because they've made that sort of intermission tracks like forced you to play them. And I think the sort of other mode they had with Knockout Stage, there's only like 6 different courses.
You got that 5th win yet, right?
I actually didn't, because I got early on, I got really, like, when everyone was bad, the way the elo works, it's really, I don't know, for some reason it's hard to lose, because I do well enough that I stay high enough, but I got like a super high elo, so I'm in like rooms where everyone's kind of cracked, and it's like, it's hard. I don't know, I got too frustrated to actually complete it, and I think they are super repetitive. Early on I was praising that that's the best part about it, like you got these sort of segments that you need to come into a certain spot in the race to continue to race on, and by the time you are at the final 4, you race on like a 1-track lap to the finish, and there's only 8 of them or 6 of them, and they just feel repetitive. They're a bit boring to get like to a later stage, and it began to feel like a bit of a waste of time to keep playing.
I haven't heard anyone talk about Mario Kart for like a really long time right now.
It's been pretty dead in the mainstream for
So
for
Death
like a
Stranding
minute now,
2
yeah.
is Hideo Kojima's latest game to come out.
It's going to come out on the
and I've put 105 hours into it.
I've got 60 or something.
and I haven't played the first one, but I'm being egged on to. I got so many games that I do want to play, but
You finished The Last of Us.
oh yeah, that should have been maybe one of my topics. But I think we'll make something separate for that. It might be like one of the
Aren't we doing the
podcasts
Last of Us 2 thing?
Yeah, we are doing that, but I haven't heard any update from you recently. Sorry,
Because
don't
I
know where
started
that's
writing
at,
a
but-
different thing, so I'm gonna fill you in on that
Yeah.
afterwards.
But I liked it. I liked
Surely
it.
watch the Last of Us shorts where you see Ewan get jump scared or shot at.
I think there's still a couple of them that I haven't published that are
I
still just
sometimes, when
on-
it
on
comes up on
Twitch.
my feed, just put my phone down and I go and do something else just to help the algorithm a little bit. And all I can hear from the other
Oh my
room is
god,
ah,
such a good friend.
oh my god.
Hearing me be bad at movies. Oh my god, that is so nice. Yeah. So I did a bit of gaming these recent months, and after Gun, I also finished my project of watching every Best Picture winner, which was a bit of an undertaking. And, you know, there's 97 movies on there, and I just came to the very poignant conclusion that it's some good movies that won Best Picture, man. Pretty good ones. That we don't really talk about that much.
93,
I don't want one in '93.
Unforgiven.
Oh, Unforgiven. Oh, yeah, Unforgiven was really good. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if I look at Unforgiven, it's probably like, you know, in definitely the top third. But there's just so much great stuff. It's at 23 for me, but there's just so much great cinema that I'm glad that I did this project, and I'm working on something bigger with that to take a look at all of these. But
surely Crash in the top 20, right?
Crash is actually let me check. There's 97 movies that got Best Picture. It's at spot number 97. That is the worst movie. And I was like, everyone's like overhyping how bad it is. No, it is that bad. It is that bad. That is one of the worst films I've ever seen. It is so bad. It is so fucking bad.
How many Best Picture winners have you seen, Lachlan?
I've seen Parasite.
And then The Godfather, it becomes difficult. I know you've seen about
I've seen 35.
35. Okay, yeah.
36%.
This was something that was of a lot of value to do just for myself. Yeah, to see them all. I just wanted to give you an update. I did that, guys. I finished it, and it felt good.
Congratulations.
I do like completing lists, so it's like sort of my
let's
earlier. Lachlan, weren't you
applaud
saying that? You know, was that in a different recording when you showed your coffee table book? No, actually, that was off the recording when you said that I might be on the spectrum, and I was like, well, something about lists and completing them might be a bit like sort of that tendency that like once I begin something, I need to finish, I need to see it all. But yeah. I think that's kind of all we wanted to talk about this week. And maybe I can give you a bit of like an update and some information of what you can expect this podcast to kind of be in the foreseeable future. There are some changes coming that I think we've tried to make a few months ago, and maybe we reassessed and kind of came to this sort of trial period for the podcast for I think the next like 6 or 7 episodes that we are going to do them bi-weekly. So every other week you get a new topic, and it's going to be a sort of rotation of hosts with, I think, me on most of them, but if we just look, I think 2 episodes into the future, it's going to be one without me. So there you go, you get rid of me for once. But it will be myself, it will be Lachlan, it will be Kevin, and then Connor, who you might have seen in some other reviews or another video that we filmed earlier today that should be out tomorrow. But we're not going to be covering the latest movie release like we have been in the past. We also are not going to be covering the news and the new releases on that show. We are kind of taking them out and putting a new core at the center of it all, a main topic like this week where we want to catch up with the film news and stuff that we just wanted to talk about, but also something like the New York Times top 100 best films of the 21st century. In the next podcast, we're going to take a closer look at that list, and that's going to be our main topic. And then then Kevin and I are going to talk about like film festivals in general and give you a sort of overview of how it is to attend it for us and maybe how you can attend it, give you a bit of tips. So it's going to be a different sort of topic, and sometimes it's just going to be a movie that we end up talking about. This is really open, and we are trying to figure out what it should exactly be. I got ideas that it could be like an ongoing series that we have where we look at a filmography. The neurodivergent stuff comes back in where I need to have a list to be working towards, and it feels like I'm being productive. But that sort of stuff is like, we definitely also encourage you guys to leave recommendations and feedback if what you would want to see the show to be. The stuff that we cut out of this is not going to be fully gone. I'm bringing back like earlier this week the live streams on Monday, also giving an overview of what's releasing that week. And then at the end of the month, we're going to talk about like our favorite movies that we've seen that month, which is kind of sort of replacing what we've been watching. And then we're just going to make more solo reviews. We're going to have that core review that we used to have at the podcast be a spoiler discussion that is its separate video. So it's, instead of getting rid of all of the things that used to be there, we are just splitting them into their separate things, right? That it's not just all crammed into a podcast. And because I think it kind of works out better that, like, you know, we just kind of pick and choose what we want to do. That's why we have a bigger cast of people who host the podcast, that, like, if there's a topic that you're interested in, you pair up with someone who's also interested in that, and those two are going to make the podcast. So yeah, long story short, if you aren't subscribed, you definitely should, because there's some exciting stuff coming on the channel. Even if you're not a frequent podcast watcher, there's going to be plenty of stuff to keep you informed about everything around film and TV. And yeah, anything else? Did I miss something big?
You did great, my boy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
Like
I'm doing it all
away.
for the validation. It's like, yeah.
Lachlan blacked out again.
Well, now we're just going back to raw dogging, looking at a black monitor until we're back to the next recording, right, guys?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will watch movies.
You will watch movies? Oh, is that exciting?
I'll finish Death Stranding.
I'll finish Death Stranding.
But that's not a movie.
Well,
I talked to you guys in
I've done
December
105 hours. It's definitely longer than a movie.
I don't know, guys. Some movies do feel kind of long. You remember watching Youth Spring? That must have been like one Death Stranding
or
long.
A Bright Summer Day.
A Brighter Summer Day. A Brighter Summer Day is a good long movie, though. Anyways, I think we'll end it on the note of...
Did you watch it in one viewing?
I did watch it in one viewing, I think.
No,
I don't remember. Didn't I?
You definitely broke that up in multiple times.
I don't remember. I'm sorry, I'm pleading the fifth. I definitely watched the movies all in one go, and I never stopped them. And I'm always legal, always just buying the movies as well. Anyways, keep on watching movies, and we will see you at the latest on this podcast in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.